let the chaos begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. With a town pride loud within, this is where the game and fun begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. With a town pride loud within, this is where the game and fun begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. Grab a seat, grab a drink, let the chaos begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. With a town pride loud within, this is where the game and fun begin. You're listening to Fools Rush In, where the passion and the chaos wins. With a town pride loud within, this is where the game and fun begin.
Good evening, happy Monday, happy Bank Holiday Monday, Easter Monday. Welcome to Fools Rush In. Yes, thank you for acknowledging the late start. Apologies, I tried to post out about it. Apparently I had no signal, so nobody knew. I've literally been in the house for 6 minutes and thrown a live show together so we can talk about the absolute late limbs again that was Swindon Town. On what was, let's be honest, I'll throw my views out there a bit quick before we talk about it. Something that was 1,000 times better than Thursday. Still not great, but 1,000 times better than Thursday. Once again, I left wondering how it happened, but my words have the stars aligned. I mean, we'll discuss it all a bit more broadly in a little while, but we are now, I believe I'm correct in saying, 2 points, not just off third, but off second. 2 points. And we play Friday night against Colchester. On Saturday, the current top four play each other. What an opportunity. Somehow we are going to do the biggest shithouse move impossible and be the worst team ever to get promoted. It's incredible scenes and something only Swindon Town can do. So let's fucking go. As always, we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X. So wherever you are watching, firstly, thank you for tuning in. And secondly, please do get involved in the live chat, like Jason has done on X. Good evening, Jason. Hope you're well, sir. And like James has done on YouTube. Vamos, indeed. Good evening. Hope you are all well. And even those who haven't yet commented in the chat, I hope you are well too. We may have started late, but that doesn't mean we break with tradition. We have an intro question, and that will be asked to the panel and to you. So again, please do get involved. And what I would like to know today, please, is simply with the potential, and it is potential, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, with the potential of a promotion on the horizon and the opportunity to go to new grounds. This doesn't have to be football related, I'm just setting the scene. Somewhere in England, possibly Wales if you want to include it, that you haven't visited, that you might like to visit, that you might get the chance to visit, should we end up in League One. But simply, where is somewhere in England you haven't visited that you might like to? For example, I realised in a conversation today that even during my time living in Swindon, I didn't really travel south a lot other than London. There's so much, particularly of the southwest, I haven't seen. I've been to Poole a few times, but I've never done the main places in like Dorset and places like this. So maybe covering more of the southwest would be an area I would like to go to. We have Walsall chat to do, we have Colchester chat to do, and we have Fools to do it with. I'm hoping there may even be a couple more that are already in the lobby. So we will see how the night goes. Let's start. I mean, I don't know if anyone else did, and if you did, I hope you were playing along in the game that we didn't advertise. But including myself, I believe there were 13 of the 15 Fools in attendance today. And most of us were sat together as well, which was fantastic. It was absolutely great. But I'm going to start with one man who didn't come over to Fool's Corner. He decided he didn't want to be part of the band and he'd rather sit in his usual place on his own. So I'm interested to hear his views, as I didn't get to talk to him in the game. Good evening, Ben.
Hello, Fifey. How are you? I'm sorry I couldn't use Fool's Corner. I do have an excuse. My dad got a rather sore neck at singing Fool's Corner last time, and he was it took him a couple of days to get better, so he'd rather not sit in Fool's Corner. So that's why. If I didn't have my dad, I would have joined you.
I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure. Well,
it's
all good, mate. It's all good, mate. It's all good. I mean, you could tell the difference between our today's show and our usual shows because we're all here still in the attire that we were at the ground in. But obviously, we're going to talk about the game shortly. But please give us like a 3-word review just to kickstart things. And Freddie, the same for you. A 3-word review.
Right. If Freddie wasn't here, I'd be using stronger language. But oh my god, I think is my best review. Oh my god. No. Oh my god. Oh, you my god, because Freddie's him. Freddie, what was your best review of the game? 3 words. Into the camera. No one can see you.
Oh my god, again.
Well, there you go. Oh my god, twice. That's the best way we could do it. But yeah, I think that was our summary.
So, as for the intro question, where's a part of the country you haven't visited that you might like to? That should a promotion happen, you might get the opportunity to.
Oh, let me think. Where's a promotion happened? That yeah, no, I've not been. I've been there. I've been to Sheffield, so I can't really say I've not been to Wednesday. Let's see who's in League One. Wigan. Yeah, let's do Wigan. I've not been to Wigan. I'm trying to think of frantically trying to think of League One teams. They've not been in my they've not been in my thoughts at all. I don't even know who's in League One, so probably Wigan. I've done Leicester, and I've done Sheffield Wednesday. Well, I've been outside Wednesday's ground, and of course I've done Oxford loads, and it's those 3 teams that are going down. So.
Freddie, anywhere in the country you'd like to visit? You haven't done so yet.
Luton.
Okay,
Luton.
very nice.
Yeah, we got a score to settle with them.
It wasn't their fault.
It wasn't their fault, but I still would like to beat them. It's not their fault at all. They did absolutely nothing wrong, but I use them as a figure of disgust. Yeah.
All right, well, sit back and relax because there is another full waiting, and it is someone who joined me over in the corner, someone who was particularly animated on Thursday and slightly less animated today, although still had plenty to say on what was being served up. Evening, was.
Gentlemen, good evening.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm just sort of getting over that. This like, what the hell? Like, how are we still in this? I just
Very
like,
much in it as well.
it's just getting to the point where, even though I've been critical at the performances, and I'm going to answer your question, like, what 3-word review, doesn't matter how. Like, at the moment, it just doesn't matter. I don't really. If we play like this and we win 3 of the next 4, or probably we need to win 4 of the 4, I think it'll be enough, and I think we will do it because I just think we'll have with the teams having to play each other.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't matter how. Like, I've been critical of the performances, but it doesn't matter when you win. Like, it really doesn't. I think tonight we would have been, if we've drawn that or lost it, we're going to be extra critical. We'll probably slate it more than we slated Cambridge, because we haven't got the result that we desired or what we felt like. It was just, yeah, it just doesn't matter how this time of the season. And I've listened to Holloway this afternoon, and I kind of agree with him. You've just got to find a way to get over the line, and that's what we're doing at the moment. And there's no way that anyone can criticise that, because we're doing, you know what I mean, what we need to do, and that is we'll win football Well, what we did today is what we need to do, which is find a way to win football matches, and that is what we've done.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to attempt something. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but if so, we're going to work in reverse order today, because I'm hoping ahead of Friday's game, Si might be switching on quickly to join us. Now, if this works, he will be, I believe, still in the car on the way back from, I want to say, Tranmere is where Colchester were today, if I remember rightly. Let's see if he's
good
there.
old trip
Si,
up to the Wirral.
Hi guys, how are you?
Hi, Si.
Hello, Si. You're right, mate.
It's pitch black. I mean, we can hear you. We can't see you at all. But
Yeah, to be fair,
we can
I
see
mean,
you.
you might get a flash of light as I go past the street lights, but yeah, when I went back from Tranmere, it's late, it's dark. At least we won for a change.
Yeah, well, indeed. Although we would have probably preferred that you didn't, just so you weren't going in off the back of the wings for Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think you guys got too much to worry about, if I'm honest.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but we were worried
Good side.
nonetheless. Apparently, well, especially now that the league's got even tighter again. I don't know if you heard or you were already aware, but obviously we play on Friday, and then the current top 4 all play each other on Saturday. So if this wasn't already must-win for Swindon, it is even more must-win than ever before.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I think you guys got the benefit of game coming early, so there's less pressure on you, then put the pressure on the guys around you. And sadly, our season's pieced out to the point where we're kind of on the beach already.
I mean, that's definitely refreshing to hear.
That's what we want to hear.
We spoke obviously earlier in the season, and things were expected of you this year. You used the word just then, disappointing. What exactly has happened? How has it come to this?
I think it's all very cliche in football. It's the injuries have cost us, and we've been very poor for the last 3 months or so. We've been not making the right decisions at the right time in both boxes, and not being clinical in front of goal, and yeah, just conceding easy goals and just being just not quite there.
And tell us a little bit about today. What was so good about today? What was the main protagonist for the victory, and therefore what we should be looking out for come Friday?
So what was good for us today is probably one of the few games this season where we haven't been overly great. We've been scrappy, but we've found a way to win. That's something that's been lacking. Tranmere, to be fair to them, yet they're fighting for their lives, but they gave everything. They made it very difficult for us. And yeah, to be fair, it took a moment of magic for Aurora to break down the wing, square it back across to Jack Payne to score. So I think we were quite pleased that we did get the win, especially after how we played against Oldham. So I think we're going to go into the game with belief and knowing we can beat you guys. But I think just because you've got something to play for and obviously you're up first, you might be that a little bit too much for us.
You suggested earlier that some of the squad is already on the beach. Was that apparent even in victory today? Are you concerned that it's just a case of going through the motions, in which case that might give Swindon and Swindon fans an extra boosted incentive that we can get the result that we require on Friday?
So in the first half, there definitely was a sense of the season's over. The players are kind of done. They know they're going through the motions. But to be fair to Danny and Nicky, they must have got into them at half time because it came out the second half looking like we had a bit more fire and were looking to prove a point. The only thing that so you guys may have to be wary about is we had a poor performance against Oldham on Friday, which was our last home game. So also there's going to be the element of wanting to put that right in front of their own fans.
And how as the season's developed, I mean, obviously you mentioned Payne there. Most Swindon fans would automatically identify him as the threat. But as the season's developed, as the Colchester way continues to develop, where are you particularly strong at the minute? Where should Swindon be wary?
To be fair, I think the two we really worry about are two of your ex-players in Jack Payne and Ellis Lando. He's been absolutely immense, and when we lost him for injury, that's kind of when our season did took a tail a little bit. And since he's come back, we have played better. So he's absolutely key. And also, you guys know what he's like, what he's all about. So there's him. So you got Lisby, and depending how we're going to play, you've got Anderson who's playing really well. So there's a few players across the pitch, but what's frustrating at times is it depends what Colchester team turn up.
Yep. And how about areas of weakness? If it's not just a sort of lax attitude because the season's petered into a nothingness for you, is there an area of the pitch that you're concerned Swindon might exploit if we're actually on it?
So our weakness really is up top in scoring goals and taking our chances when they're presented. Defensively, we've not been too bad. So I suppose from like an opposition point of view, coming to us, you know that we are going to be limiting ourselves to our chances. We may not necessarily take them. I think defensively, you've got to be on your A game to be able to break us down. And I'd like to think that after the old defeat, we are going to look to put it right. So we will be a little bit stronger.
You are, of course, not only just a Colchester fan, but very knowledgeable of the teams in the division. You travel home and away to many or most games in the season. When you see how tight the table is going into the last 4 or 5, depending on which team you're referring to, who do you think currently finishes in the top 3?
Well, that is tough, isn't it? Because you can say one week to week is, it seems to change. I think it's pretty certain that Bromley are going to go up and pretty going to go up as champions. They've kind of got that down and polished. But I think everything else is there to play for. But you can't really look between Cambridge and MK probably for the other 2 places. And then with the playoffs, that's going to be so hard to call.
Okay. And for yourselves, do you feel there's now has attention turned towards next year, trying to work out who will and won't be part of it and building something that's sustainable for next year?
I think for us, the big thing is going to be whether or not the takeover that everyone's really hoping for goes through. If that goes through and the club will have a transfer window, then I think there will be a lot of expectation and hope around the place, whereas vice versa, if the takeover doesn't go through, I think we could be quite deflated going into next season with worries about budgets and players and who's staying, who's going, etc. So it's up in the air, but everyone's optimistic that it will go through and we can sort of build for next year.
I I may be speaking out of turn on behalf of some, but I get the sense from talking to some people that there was a real feel amongst the Swindon fans. We'll see what happens today before we make a decision on Friday. The fact that we've won and the other results and the league table's gone the way it has, I kind of have this expectation that Swindon might travel well again on Friday. How do you think your fan base are going to treat this game? Just like any other, the fact it's on a Friday night might knock the attendance down a bit from your side, or do you think, Swindon coming at one of the last home games of the season, your fans will be right up for it?
I think the fans will be up for it. And that's one thing we have been very good at this season, even through difficult times, that the fan base has been massively behind Danny and Nicky Cowley because they brought everyone together. So I can have a decent turnout. Under the lights is always a bit different on Friday night. Under the lights game's always special, so you might be put a few more people into that respect. But I think everyone's going to come into the game with expecting a decent encounter and a close fought game.
All right, let me ask the guys then their thoughts ahead of it. Ben, let me start with you. Based on what you've seen today and the enormity of what Friday means, what are you expecting from Swindon?
Scrappy, dogged. I don't think be a game with very few chances, depending what Di has described. And it could be another late nick 1-0 that takes it home. I think we need to score first. I think if we go 1 down, I don't know if we've got enough goals in us to score 2 away from home, especially a team with half decent back four. I'm worried that Jack Payne destroys our automatic promotion hopes. I'm very wary. He's probably the best 10 in the league. But yeah, I think if Swindon take the lead, then I think we've got what it takes to shut them out. I think defensively we've been pretty sound, but I think creating a lot of chances has been our problem, and I think we only sort of react when we go 1 down, which is odd. But yeah, we need to start on the front foot. But we need to take the ball game by the scruff of the neck. But we don't seem to be doing that. We just seem to be just doing enough to get there. So I'm going like it's going to be a scrap 1-0 up myself. Either way, I'm not sure.
I've suggested that there's a mentality problem at Swindon in recent weeks, that we maybe don't have big game players within the team, that there's a real struggle. Couple into that, we have had opportunities in recent weeks where we've maybe had the lunchtime kickoff to put pressure on those around us, and we failed in each of the opportunities to do so. Does that worry you that it could happen again? Or does the fact that, we weren't good against Cambridge and we came out of a point, we weren't great today, but somehow turned it around again, do you think that we're now starting to see that battling, that dogged, that determined Swindon that could take the opportunity that's before us on Friday?
Well, yeah, I don't think we've questioned mentality, haven't we? Parts of this season, I don't think you can question the last 2 games of the mentality, especially even more so today at home against at home against a team that needed to win for their playoff hopes. They go ahead, and we've showed some serious character in the last 10 minutes to come back and win this game. So I don't think you can question us in positions where we look down and out and we look like that we've sort of thrown it away from not performing well, that we've just found a way. And I can see that happening again Friday night. I think the one thing that we've probably got over Colchester is probably we've got those options. We've got like a better options of squad. You've seen it today. We started with Hoylett and Bowden in those advanced positions wide, and then we've ended up with Palmer, Holman, Ola Kigby, Nichols has come off the bench. We've got massive opportunities to be able to change the game, and Holloway, one thing you can't question him for is that if we're in a position with 30 minutes to go and the game is at 0-0 or we're drawing, he will go for it. He knows that we've got to win these games. He knows. I think Friday is massive. And I know we've been saying this for the last 2 weeks that the next game is huge, but this one on Friday is huge because this is the opportunity for us to win the game and be in that top three. And the psychological thing that does to the likes of MK Dons, Notts County, to Cambridge, to all the teams around us that see that Swindon have jumped up to. And it, like you've said, it's a massive opportunity for us to put the pressure back on those teams. And sometimes it's better to be the chaser than trying to hang on to those positions. So it doesn't matter to me how we get there, as long as we finish the season in those top three positions, it doesn't matter. But on Friday, I said this a couple of weeks ago, and Fleetwood proved us wrong, didn't they? That they weren't on the beach. I can't have that Colchester will be on the beach. I think they'll want to prove a point to their fans. I think a home game, you've always got the honour and the pride that you want to give to your own supporters. I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park. Definitely not, because it won't. Just any game in this league against teams is not like that. But I just think that with the squad that we've got, I think we'll just find a way, like we've been doing the last two games, nicking a point at Cambridge, and then you probably say nicking the 3 points today, because I don't feel like we deserved it. But it's just massive, Fifey. It's just huge. And like I said at the start of the show, it doesn't matter how we're doing it now with performances. It's not pretty, it's not nice to watch, but we're getting the points, and if we can do that on Friday and put the pressure back on the teams around us, that is going to be a massive, massive statement. And I just hope that we're up for it, because we questioned the mentality at Cambridge, saying it was a massive game, and did the players bottle it? But they showed that they have got it in them to keep going and nick a point from nowhere. And they've shown it again today, that from a losing position, we can come back into the game and not only just get a point today, but because a point wouldn't have been enough. If you would have looked at it today, we would have been 4 points off Notts County in third. And I think that would have been a too big a gap to overhaul. But today, the win has just given us still that outside chance. And I agree with Si. I still think it is an outside chance. But Friday is huge. But then we'll say after Friday that Accrington's huge, because you know what I mean. But the next game is the most important, and it is on Friday night. We've just got to find a way to beat Colchester. And I love what Holloway said in his interview today. From where we hit rock bottom at Colchester last season, where we got absolutely tonked on a Tuesday night, I believe it was, and it looked like in the fan base that it looked like that we were going to drop out of the Football League, because we were all saying that this looks like this is where we're going to fall away. Yeah. How ironic would it be that we can go to Colchester, put on a performance, win the game, and keep our top three hopes alive? That would be that. It's just the way. And then you could see the progression then of where it's come, and surely the fans and we would all be able to see that, look where it's took us. But it'll be a toughie. It'll be a toughie, like they all are at the moment. It's a battle. It's a grind. Everything that Ben said, dogged, the whole lot that it needs to be. But I feel like we will just have enough, just with the squad that we've got, to get us over the line, and that's what I'm clutching on to.
Just seeing some of the comments in the chat aimed towards Si, in keeping with how Swindon will perform. Jason says, Si, we didn't have our first shot on target until we scored today. Mike says, Si, do you concede many in injury time? It does have the potential to be a potential nervy affair, particularly from the Swindon side of things. Si, when you hear what the boys have had to say and you hear comments like that, what are your expectations of what Swindon might offer on Friday?
I agree with what you guys have said. It's going to be a bit of a scrappy, dogged game. So you guys got a lot to play for and a lot to prove. Not just where you're going to be in the league, but like you just said there, how your game against Colchester last year was such kind of an eye-opener for you guys and a turning point. So it's going to be interesting to see how it will both set up. But listen to what you guys say, how I've seen us play. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game of missed chances, 0-0 draw.
I don't think 0-0 draws enough, though, Si.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
think
it's all-
Swindon will risk losing to win. If it's 0-0, Swindon
Yeah.
will risk losing to win. They will go all out.
See, to me, it's catch-22 because see, I always keep an eye out for how you guys are getting on. I love chatting to you on the pod, so I'd like to see you do well. But if you guys go up, whatever you guys talk to, so I'm kind of torn.
Well, we'll always find a way, and fear not, Si. If the miracle does happen and we do get promoted, you know full well we're drawing Colchester away in one of the cups.
In every
League Cup first
in
round.
every
In
competition.
Cup first
every
round, Col
possible
you
cup
away.
competition.
League Cup first round, and that'll be a bye for Colchester because we don't win them.
Si's already thrown out a 0-0, boys. I know it's early and we are coming off the back of a win today, but we don't have a preview show ahead of the game. So how are you guys feeling off the back of today, Ben? Result for Friday?
1-0, Tafazzoli, 97 minutes.
And was?
I think I put on my predictions thing that we did with Mark. I predicted this to be one of our tough games, and I said that this could be a draw. We just don't seem to have a great record there and stuff like that. But I've got to go. I'm just going to go with my heart because I just feel like I can't take on board what Si says that we do need it more than them, and I just think we will find a way. I think Colchester will score. I could see it being similar to today, like a 2-1, or there'll just be a goal in it. And there'll be some nervy moments for us having to hang on or whatever we need to do just to get over the line. Like today, I can just see them being so similar to what it was today, because it would just be the way it is. Because you either play teams at home that come to your ground that have still got something to play for, like Walsall did today. They knew they needed a win, but then you go away from home and you do have to factor in the fact that these players playing in front of their own supporters, there's just a moral way of going about things at home that you do have to put it on for your supporters. And I can see Colchester playing with the shackles off, thinking, well, we've got nothing to really play for. But that can be a dangerous thing at times, can't it? Because you can say, oh, they could be on the beach. But we saw it with Fleetwood a couple of weeks ago that they come with the shackles off, played decent football and deserved, what they got, and should have probably got a bit more. So, yeah, I don't know. I said draw on our predictions thing, but in my heart is just saying that we will find a way like we've been doing just to get the win that we so desperately need. So I think I can see a 2-1. That's what I think it'll possibly be.
Okay. It's worth saying that there's conflicting information about whether or not Friday's game is going to be available to watch. It's not currently advertised for Sky Sports Plus. However, through certain streaming packages like Now TV, there is a suggestion it might be available. So I'm not sure what Friday show is going to look like yet. If we are able to do a watch along, we will. I don't believe we're going to be able to, in which case we'll work something else out.
I possibly will be in attendance. I think there's a few of us going up. I think.
So Joe will be there. Wazza is very likely to be there.
I think
believe
Woody
is very likely to be there. And I believe Wazza may have twisted the arm of a certain Mr. Garv to be there as well. So
I did mention it to Garv today. I did say to him Friday, and he sort of said to me, "Oh, I'll let you know." So yes,
it got mentioned to me when I saw them after the game that they'd had this conversation with you. So James is there. He said, "Wazza, you're coming now?" ?
Yes, potentially. I am, as long as all being well, because I am coming back from funny enough, coming back from where Si is on the way back from. I am coming back because I'm at Aintree races on Thursday and coming back Friday. So I'm hoping to be out of Liverpool
Just
by
carry
late
on going.
Well, no, I've got to come back because Owls is with me. So I'm coming back late morning and then come back to pick Theo up and then hopefully going to jump in the car with Woody. And then we will be on our way. That is the plan.
Excellent. Well, listen, Si, safe journey home. Thank you for coming on for the first half hour to talk to us. We appreciate your time as always.
Safe trip, Si.
Thank you for everything
dramas.
Thank you for everything you've offered to us this season in the nicest possible way. We hope we don't have to ask you for quite as much content next year, but if we do, it'll be great nonetheless.
Yeah, no dramas, lads. Cheers, Hamilton. And apart from Friday, good luck for the rest of the season. And yeah,
Cheers, pal.
Give Si my number, and then we can see if we can meet
you
up
guys
Friday.
do
Are you
that.
going Friday, Si?
Yes, mate,
Si?
I'll be there.
Si will
Yeah.
be there.
I
Perfect.
will.
Yeah,
I
I'll
will
be there.
make sure to connect.
Yeah, I'll be
I
there.
will make sure to connect Wazza and Si so we can sort something out.
Perfect. Great shout.
That'll be great. That'll be great. Maybe catch up with
Right.
you Friday then.
Take
All the
care,
best,
Si.
lads.
Safe journeys.
Cheers, lad.
Safe trip,
Cheers.
Si.
Bye, 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 bye.
I'll be surprised the game's not on Friday because it's not on a 3 o'clock time thing, is it?
But I think the reason it might not be on telly is because it's supposed to be on Saturday at 3 o'clock, but due to other things is why it's not. It's not like it's being moved intentionally.
From what I see, from a lot of people that live out of the UK, let's put it that way, I believe that you might be able to get it on those. I don't know if it's an iFollow
Continental
sort
streams.
Continental streams. That's
Yeah,
the
you
wording
can
I
watch
was
it on
looking
the
for. I'd like to think that maybe on the continental streams that you might be able to get that. Yes.
So let's talk about today, shall we? I have spent best part of 12 hours out of the house. I brought two of my friends with me from Leicester. It was their first experience of the county ground. It wasn't their first experience of Swindon. They've come with me to games before, but their first experience of the county ground. We got stuck in every possible bit of traffic. The plan was we would be in Swindon by 1 o'clock. So they could meet all the boys in the Legends Lounge. We could all watch the Oxford game on the big screen together, have a few drinks, etc. And it didn't go to plan because apparently, if you weren't at the county ground today, every fucking person in Wiltshire was at Cotswold Wildlife Park, blocking the road, and I sat there for the best part of an hour trying to get through. But thankfully, we made it on time. The boys got to meet most of the guys. And they had a fun time. They were telling me that they really enjoyed it. They want to do it again. And they said, worst case scenario, they want to try and get a ticket to the playoff game. And I went, oh, fucking hell. And but if not, they want to try and arrange something for next season. So that's always good. People want to come back and do it again.
Wifey,
Yes.
sorry to butt in. I have literally just seen the comment in the thing. It is on Sky Sports Plus. It is on the Sky Sports Plus.
Let's fucking go! Watch along time.
The watch along is on. Yes, it is
I was
I'm
just
looking
trying
live
to see
EFL on Sky Sports Plus. They have put it on there.
How's it
Upcoming.
going? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we know what we're doing Friday then, for those of us not travelling to Essex.
Boom.
Sorry, I put you right
It's all
off there.
No, it's fine. The game
Cotswold
itself-
Wildlife Park.
Yeah.
Cotswold Wildlife Park's a pain in the fucking ass. However, we got to Swindon. We managed to get something to eat. We got into the stand. We met most of the guys. As I say, that 13 of the 15 fools, I believe, were in attendance. It was only Nick and Ned who were absent. Everyone else was there. And we had fun. Majority of us, as I said, were over in Fool's Corner. The performance was better. It still wasn't great, but it was better. And basically, we've come away with an absolutely massive 3 points. Clearly, certain things had been worked on from Thursday to today. Clearly, certain things got swapped between half-time and full-time. But Ben, as you weren't sat with us in the group there, let me start with you. What were some of your major takeaways from today's game?
Well, I think I was actually pleasantly surprised for the first 10 to 15 minutes. I think Swindon did start on the front foot. They were trying to play it down the middle. I think one of the biggest criticisms that we had was misusing Drennan by just trying to pump the ball long and just getting to chase it down pointless channels and have no one within 20, 30 yards from him. So there was no support and we'd lose the ball and not create anything. So we were trying the right things where we were being patient, we were playing the ball. I think Borland was looking quite useful. Unfortunately, Old Acre wasn't having a very good game at all. And I think other than a couple of crossfield balls, I thought he was largely awful, to be quite honest. So I think the bit of creativity missed there where I thought Borland was actually quite good. But we were trying to do it. We looked like a team trying to find its form again, find its way back again into form. But I think after 20 minutes, that started to fizzle out after we stopped letting chances in. I don't think Walsall were doing much, but by going into half time, I think they're much the better team, because when they broke on us, they broke on numbers and they looked quite quick and they were creating opportunities and they had the numbers on us. So there was a few times that were a bit hairy that we just about got away with and saw out. Whether I don't think we were testing them enough. I think we had a couple of long shots and we didn't work the keeper once. I think there was a couple of times we did get behind them. But again, that final cross or the final ball was not great. I didn't think we used the correct option. I thought we were quite hesitant with the final ball. I thought Batty played really well. I think he was the standout in the first half. A couple of great crunching tackles, and he looked like he was trying to get down the wing. But I think we looked like a team out of form. We looked like we needed that extra touch. We looked like we were really hesitant, whether Walsall played like, we see this to half time and then we put the foot down in the second half and try and win this game, because they had to win. And Swindon didn't. Swindon looked like they were sort of trying to do the right things, but were off form and sort of barandering to nothingness towards the end of the season. That was my view of the first half. Some of it were okay, but largely ineffective. But some bits it was still miles better than Thursday. And I thought, it was ineffective. I don't think going to the second half was, but the first half was a bit, again, it was better, but it still was nothing to write home about. And I think Walsall could have been quite pleased the way the game had gone the first half, because Ripley had been tested, but their keeper had not.
And as for you, Ben makes some very interesting points there. I think he's right in terms of the ebb and flow. Swindon seemed to start reasonably well, and then Walsall kind of took charge of the situation. But Swindon did look at, I don't want to kind of hyperbolize it too much, but they did look a slightly different animal in the second half. There was a renewed vigor, a renewed intention, almost a renewed attitude. And almost everything that was kind of missing, minus the actual quality, if you like, but everything that was missing against Cambridge suddenly came to the forefront. That they were suddenly a bit more bite in the tackles. There was a bit more effort to get to the ball. I mean, Walsall dominated the second ball for the majority of the game, but there were moments in that second half where Swindon were, even if they weren't getting there, that there was more of an effort to get there, it seemed.
Yeah, but that should be the minimum with the position that we're in at the moment. It should be the bare minimum. I should expect us to be crunching into challenges. I do expect us to be running our hearts out and busting a gut, because that's what gets you over the line in these positions, is by being that team that can do the nitty gritty stuff. Wow, look, let's not polish it up because we've won the game. We were poor still. We didn't create. We didn't do an awful lot. I thought Walsall were average, and I thought we probably made them look a little bit better and gave them the opportunities to make them a little bit better. I don't think they were. I don't think they were great at all. We go on to Cambridge, and when you're talking chalk and cheese, Cambridge were miles better than us and Walsall. So that's where I stand on that. I was really disappointed, if I'm completely honest with you. You could probably tell when you were sat with me the first half. I thought we were awful. I thought it was pedestrian. I thought it was slow. I do kind of agree with Ben that I thought we were trying to do the right things, but we were just doing it too slowly. Like the passes ended up, because we weren't quick enough, they had to go backwards, and then it was just backwards, sideways, and it wasn't really going anywhere. And I just couldn't see. For me, I thought it was going to be whoever scored first would go on and win the game, and then as soon as Walsall get that goal in the second half, I thought we were done. I couldn't see anything for me that how we were going to come back into it, how we were going to turn the game around in our favour. I was so dejected when we went one down. I thought it was an awful goal to concede. The guys just crept in the middle of our centre halves from some good build-up play from them and a good ball into the box. We didn't get first contact. The the striker or whoever he played has just drifted in between Taff and Knight Bow, and he's flicked it into the corner, which was quite a good finish. But in answer to your question, so Fifey, I was disappointed with the performance, and like I said, the minimum I expect is us to be crunching into challenges. It is the bare minimum with the position that you're in, that you're fighting. We're fighting to get promoted and get out of this league. So that should just come naturally. If you've got the right players with the right mindset, that should be coming naturally, that we should be snapping into challenges, trying to win. If we can't win the first ball, you get on the second ball. And I was disappointed with both teams. I thought it looked like two teams, like Ty said earlier about Colchester being on the beach. It looked like two teams on the beach in the first half to me. I thought it was a real poor performances from both sides.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I didn't think Walsall were particularly good either. Ben, there were changes to the starting 11 from what happened on Thursday. There was the return of Hoylett and Bowden, as was mentioned earlier, into the attack. Joel McGregor came in at right back. We had Ball also in midfield. Borland as well. Now, for my honest opinion on these, and I haven't spoken to you about this to know if you agree, I thought McGregor looked like he really struggled first half. I think he got more of a grip of the game in the second half. I think Borland looked okay. But then we've been saying for weeks now that our midfield isn't what it used to be. So okay is probably good by what we've had. I'm not necessarily. I don't think Ball had a particularly great game himself. Bowden looked okay, and Hoylett looked like he wanted to do stuff, but it just wasn't quite happening for him.
Yeah, no, I quite agree with that. I think what helped McGregor was the shift in formation. Obviously, we started with a 3 at the back, with Ball at the back, and then we went to a 4. I've always said McGregor's a right back. He's not really a right wing back. He's a right back. And I think he's a lot more comfortable there. And I think he just dealt with it better there. And I think Swindon did look a better unit with a 4 at the back. I'm surprised Ball pushed up all the way to 10. I thought maybe Oldacre might move to 10, and then you'd have the 2 holding mids, which were Borland and Ball. But they kept Oldacre back as a sort of quarterback kind of role. Which I didn't think worked, and I don't think Ball's an attacking midfielder whatsoever. It's not his best qualities. You know, he might pop up the odd moment or two, but I'm not expecting him to drop the shoulder and beat a couple of players or slip in a killer pass or anything like that. He's just not that kind of player.
I don't know for certain, but I think Holloway was maybe looking for him to do what Clark has done there in the past. And maybe start the press higher up the pitch potentially. Yeah,
I think you're right. But he's not Ollie Clark, and Ollie Clark does that really well. But he's not that. He's a similar type of player to Clark, but he's either naturally he's a central defensive midfielder who can occasionally slip out the back if needs be because of his height. He's decent, but he's a CDM really. He can play as 8 or a CDM, but he's not. I wouldn't have someone as that high because I don't think he's got that that snap that Ollie Clark has, but. I think once we did make the changes in the second half, which were forced, I think Swindon did look better. I thought the Walsall goal happened in slow-mo and was scrappy. I thought the ref as well was dreadful as well. I agree with Holloway's comments. The amount of soft free kicks that they were buying from the referee all the time, that we didn't get any. I thought that was it was getting beyond a joke at one point. And I think start the second half, they had a spell of pressure was brought on by one of these said really poor decisions by the referee, and the goal they came as well. It was just a bit dozy, and it sort of rolled in slow motion as well, which is kind of the worst you can see. But then I think it was bizarre as well for Walsall that once they went 1 up, they probably thought in their mind we can do these, and they probably went on to score 2 or 3. I think if they went to slow the game down and they went a little bit more defensive, then I think they see up the game and they win the game 1-0. But they didn't. They kind of wanted to put Swindon to the sword and, to absolutely hammer us. And that kind of left them short of the numbers. Of course, it led to the break that led to the equaliser. And it happened a few times that even when they were 1 up, they were still kind of playing like it was 0-0 when they needed to win. And we got behind them, a few times. And we did look more like we could possibly score after they got one up, and we actually kind of decided to finally play with some intensity because we had to, and play further up the field because we had to. And once again, Swindon are reactive and start doing what they need to do once they're one down, rather than starting like it. And then we started to almost by forcibly click the gears into motion and start causing them problems. But, I'd like to do it when it's 0-0 for a change rather than 1-0 down.
Was we're still sort of looking for combinations throughout the team. Do you think we're starting to see, I mean, again, it looked better. It still wasn't polished as such, but do you think you're starting to see the fact, for example, that Tafazoli and Knight Labelle have started the last few games together? Is that partnership starting to bear fruit again?
Even though I can put them at blame for the goal, like both of them, because one of them's got to get closer to the man, they're definitely our two best centre halves. Like that back four on paper is our best back four. Joel McGregor, Knight Labelle, Tafazoli, and Batty. That's our best back four. There's no doubt about it that they're in the right positions. I agree with Ben. I think McGregor's great at right back. I think he can offer you. He offers you bite. He offers you. He's willing to get into a challenge. He's deceptively quite good in the air. He's quick when he needs to be. I think he offers you all of that. That's where I've kind of, even though Will Wright's been poor, he's not a right back. You know what I mean? I feel for Will Wright really, because I know he's been very poor, but he's not a right back. And unfortunately, because we haven't had Snowden, McGregor's been in and out, someone's had to go there, and Will Wright has gone there, and unfortunately it's been to his detriment. And because he just hasn't, he gets too exposed down there, he hasn't got the pace, and he gets caught. And that's the problem. So if we're going to carry on playing four at the back, unfortunately, you know what I mean, that these are the four that have got to play. You know what I mean? And if injuries come about, then yes, we'll have to look into it and whatever happens. But if this if these two at the back stay fit, which is a big if, because it's one of them. If they stay fit, we've got an opportunity because they are our best options. But we both know that Tafazoli can be made of whatever he is. Do you know what I mean? That he can really struggle, and an injury can pop up out of nowhere. And Knight Labelle was missing for, you know what I mean, a quarter of the season, hasn't he, with injury and stuff like that. So we've just got to keep everything crossed that we can keep these fit, and sort of see where we can go. So it's one of them, but they're our best option. They're our best options at the back, and that's all can be said for that, really.
Speaking of centre-backs, Ben, Aidan Flint returned to the county ground again and got the exact welcome I'm sure he was expecting. And once again, I was told a stat, I've not fact-checked it myself, but I was told that he has not won a game on a return to the county ground since he left, and long may that record continue.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think that I know when he first came to Bristol City and Swindon played City, he scored and he didn't celebrate. That's his first game back at the county ground. And I think we beat him 3-2 that day, actually. So you might be right. I think Jose got a couple that day, and one for Ranger. I think it might have been 3-2 Swindon. I know he definitely scored that day. Yeah, good. And it's pantomime with Aidan Flint, and it was such a long time ago. I mean, it's decades, isn't it, really, to be quite honest? The bloke's knocking on now, and he was quite young when he was at Swindon. But yeah, he's a prickly character. Obviously, going to Swindon and going to the Swindon fans, that sparked that song that Bristol City started singing about us, and, we'll go Swindon Town, and all that. So, yeah, every time we beat Aidan Flint, it's quite sweet. Usually I would think that the boos would, is the sort of thing that would spur him on and get him to play better. But I think he's getting to an age now that he's quite long in the tooth. And, rather than head it and kick it, there's not a lot more to his game. And, yeah, I didn't think he had that much of a great game, to be quite honest. And I think when he was put under pressure, he looked a bit wobbly. So I think we're seeing toward. I think that might be the last time we see him in the Carrot Ground myself. But it's Aidan Flint in it. A good player, great career. Obviously a Swindon boo boy because what happened at Bristol City, which is the shame, but he did it himself by demanding move. There you go.
Let's talk about a couple of people who have either repaired or enhanced their reputations. Fletcher Holman came off the bench after what was, I think it's fair to say, and I think he would acknowledge, a very, very poor performance last week. He scored one, set one up today, coming off the bench, leading more into the fact that he is one of these finishers that seems to have more of an impact off the bench. But also a word on Connor Ripley, who again had a very good performance and actually turned provider for one of the goals as well. So,
yeah, the changes make the difference, and it just shows that when you are missing
Sorry, Bobbitt's claws in me.
Cat, it's the cat.
Always the cat, always giving you a right old claw.
Yeah, it's right in the back of the neck.
Bobbit.
Oh, you all right? Have you recovered?
I'm fine.
But I like the changes made the difference today. Like you can say that, and it's easy to say now, but they do. And these players, I do see them as finishers. The likes of your Holmans, the likes of your Palmers at the moment. I've got I just agree with what Jay said in the chat. I think Ola Kigby deserves a lot of credit today for what he did when he came on. They've all of these tacking options have made a difference. Sometimes you don't see the quality, but we're talking, if we're talking about the goals and that now. The first goal, Fletcher Holman, brilliant. Ripley, outstanding distribution. A lot of questions have been said about his distribution. Obviously, he should throw it a lot more than he kicks it. Let's put it that way. So it's a great throw out. It's a great bit of work from Holman. I think it's an awful piece of defending from their right back. There's no way he should get beat like he did. But he's obviously he has, and thank goodness for that he has, and it was a good finish from Fletcher. He's seen that the keeper's a bit over to his right, and he's got the room to slot it down the left, which has made a massive, that's got us back into the game. And then the belief was there, and it looked like only one team was going to win it. And we were then on the front foot. We were putting balls in the box. I've just watched back the second goal, and I've got to say, I know you were shaking your head with Mo, but you watched back the run that Ola Kigby's made to go and get the ball back. He has ran from right wing to act like a left back.
I completely agree. What I would
He's
say is the only reason he's done that is because he completely fucked it to begin with.
Yeah. But they all fuck up. It's how you go about it to get it back. And he's created that for me. He has ran from right wing to left back. He's won the ball and been able to knock it forward up to the line to Holman. And I do agree there's been a good bit of intelligence there from both of them. The Palmer ball that's ricocheted off the defender. Holman's, I think it was an awful touch really from Holman, and he's been able to go through, and a great bit of intelligence from Drinnan to see that he's in an offside position, so he needed to leave it alone, and then Holman's been able to carry on his run. They credit where credit's due. They've, but in the irony that he's actually found Drinnan this time.
Yeah.
Which on Thursday a lot of people were calling out, should he have squared it, should he have not? And the ironic thing that he's been in that position, and it's shown that he has learned, and it was the right option, and he's given Drinnan the easiest goal he'll score all season. But yeah, in answer to your thing, the substitutions had a massive impact, and this is what we need, and this is why we've got this big squad. We've got these options off the bench that we can change, that we can tweak with, and it is to Holman's detriment, but you can clearly see that he is a better option coming off the bench against a tiring defence than he is when he starts, because he doesn't have the same impact, or he can get away with a loose touch against tiring defenders like he did today, because it actually put him through on goal. If that's in the first 5-10 minutes of the game, I don't see him scoring that. I don't see him being in through to slot it to Drinnan. I just don't see it happening against a tiring back line that have given their all through the game. he is a massive impact player. The likes of Ola Kigby, not the greatest quality in the world, but I've said this before, pace frightens a tiring defence, and it does.
Mm,
And that it
mm.
frightens them to death. And his pace, even though he hasn't sometimes got that quality, or he has it in moments, we are a moments team at the moment. We are literally surviving or getting through these games in moments. Bodin's bit of quality on Thursday to find that pass to McGregor. Ola Kigby's desire for the second goal today. Ripley's distribution to find Holman for the finish for the first goal. We're a moments team at the minute. And because we've got these quality players that are good enough, but just not showing it enough at the moment, only in little bits of the game, it's getting us through. And like I said at the top of the show, I don't care now. I really don't. If we're winning these games like this, long as we're winning them, I do not give, excuse my French, I do not give a flying fuck. Like, it doesn't matter, does it? Every Swindon fan will tell you the same. It just doesn't matter at the moment. As long as we are winning the football matches, it does not matter how we do it. But it's the insane squad that we've got. And like you said, you're bang on. These substitutions are having a massive impact, and it's getting us over the line or getting us something from games.
Ben, it's been a tough bank holiday. We knew going into it would be a tough bank holiday. Cambridge away, Walsall at home. Two teams very much still in the conversation themselves, at least up until today's result. How much confidence can Swindon take away from the fact that they've been battered on Thursday? Let's be honest, we got absolutely battered and come away with a draw against arguably the best team we've played this season. And then we've found the resolve at home to go against a playoff contender, which is what Walsall were, and some may argue still are, to come from behind again and win the game.
I think they've got a feeling now that there's a belief that there's probably a destiny that we are due to go up. Because no matter how bad, we've not been consistently, we've had patches where we've looked good, but we've not consistently played well since the end of the transfer window, where we've sprung 2 or 3 games together. We've not yet. Again, we keep doing enough. We keep popping up with last-minute goals. We keep popping up with these things. So there's got to be a belief that no matter where the game is or how badly we're playing, we will find a way. And even when we were playing badly, I wouldn't count out against the scoring a goal from nowhere. And I think that something like that might pull us through. Like when I did the predictions at Colchester, I thought, right, a really dog performance, but somehow, Tapazeri will pump one in off his knee in the 97th minute and we'll scrape home a 1-0 win. That wouldn't surprise me if that happened. So I think there's actually the way we're playing. We don't deserve to be where we are. We just don't. We deserve to get humped by 4 or 5 on Tuesday. We also deserve to take the points today. For the majority of the game, they were best in all departments, to be quite honest. But they lost. And there's plenty of games. Tranmere, again, late on, a game that we easily could have lost a minute before when Willie was clean through on goal. We somehow won. Fleetwood again as well. Could have lost that one. There's so many games we look back on where we've just easily could have lost, but Lady Luck's fell in our favour. And you just think, maybe it's just written. Maybe it's just meant to be. Maybe it's destiny that this is our year. And we could do it. So I think that gives that belief that sooner or later we're going to play well. Even a broken clock shows the right time twice. So at some point we're going to, and winning games breeds confidence. And at some point we're going to kick on and we're going to look good. And I just hope it's anytime soon. And then we've got 2 really hard games at the end, Grimsby and Chesterfield. They could be massive because they could be fighting for that 7th spot, aren't they? So one game at a time, though. Let's go to Colchester and see if we can win. Let's see if we can win. Because if we do win, then we go into second, and then that if NK are having a big old wobble right now, they picked up 2 points from the last 9. Cambridge again managed to. Eastwood chucked it in his own net in the 92nd minute. quality. That's the sort of thing happens. They must be really down on their luck at the minute. Haley was at the game today, and she was like, messaged me during the swimming game, we should a bit good, ain't? But again, they dominated the game. They couldn't take their chances. They couldn't put Cheltenham to bed. Then Fred Eastwood, what a keeper, Oxford legend, concedes 2 at the Kassam against Swindon, chucks one in for us. Cheers, mate. So you never know. It might just be written. M5, he said, would be the worst team to get promoted.
I was going to say, I'm sure.
Unbelievable. We have been dominant. We've not dominated a single game for months. We've not put any team to the sword for months. We've scraped through tooth and nail and just managed to grab a draw, stay in games, just spawn a win from somewhere, and we just found ourselves right in the middle of the front three. Oh God, I can't believe it.
I appreciate everyone's opinions on this will change after every game, and it's possibly an easier question to answer coming off a win than it is, say, a defeat. But let me ask you both right now, and Ben, I'll start with you. Well, what is your gut feel at this moment in time? Automatics, playoffs, or neither?
I think that win today was massive. I think you could felt with the way the players celebrated that second goal. I think with the way that we all felt after we went 1 down, because the whole ground just deflated. It went flat, didn't it? Everyone. And, the kind of the roar as the winner went in, the roar at full time, the way the players celebrated, I think that was a huge bit. That's a huge turning point. Hopefully Colchester are on the beach. It'd be nice if they are. I think today was massive. I before today I went, I'd like to be top 3, but playoffs are likely. I actually started to believe. I genuinely think now we'll finish 3rd or 2nd. Imagine finishing 2nd. Wow. But there's 2 spots up for grabs. When it was just 1, now there's 2. There's 2 spots up for grabs. So it's not just 1.
2 episodes ago, we were saying that Bromley and MK Dons were up, and it was 4 teams fighting for 1 position.
But there's another one going, because MK Dons, 2 points from the last, was it 12 points for MK? 2 points from the last 12, and they dropped points to place teams like Barrow at home. They're forever having a wobble. And even Salford today, after their magnificent win against Notts County, and you think, they're kicking on now. They've won 5 on the spin after a terrible one. I couldn't see them losing to Crewe. They lost. And Notts County, they seem to be like winning, drawing, losing, winning, drawing, losing.
And now Jatta's got a 3-game ban.
Yeah, and Jatta's got a 3 game. It's just the planets are aligning, aren't they? It's weird. And there's going to be ups and downs. I'll be amazed if we win all 4, but you just don't know, do you? So right now, right this second tonight, I feel like we can do it. I think we will right now.
I'm going to come to Wazza and ask him his opinion on that. But just on the back of what you've literally just said there, Ben, how many points do you think realistically we need? Obviously, we did our predictions with 8 or 9 games to go originally. There are 4 left. How many do we need, do you think? And how many do you think we get?
I think we win 3 and draw 1.
So you think we get 10 points in the next?
I think we get an 84 points, and I think that might just get 3rd. I think that might just get 3rd. Might.
Okay.
I think the other thing, because they've all got to play each other, and I think teams will drop. The other teams are choking a little bit, and they're dropping points against each other.
As big as Friday is, Saturday is massive, absolutely massive day for us, with the top 4 all playing each other. Waz, over to you then. Right now, this moment in time, we are 10:38 p.m. on the 6th of April. Automatic, playoff, or neither?
Playoffs. I want to be wrong. I want to be so wrong. I think Jay made the comment earlier. I think we are forgetting that even though we're 2 points off, the goal difference will come into it. And I know we're not thinking about that now. So it acts like an extra point. And the way that this is looking like it's going to pan out, it's going to get. I agree. It's going to come down to. I think it's going to go down to the last day of the season, and it'll be twists and turns and however you want to call it. And I had a look at the fixtures, and I know we shouldn't look too far ahead. We're going to be relying on Bristol Rovers to go and do us a favour away at Notts County on the last day of the season. It's just, yeah, I don't know. I just want to be wrong. I do feel like I think our luck, if we carry on performing like this, will run out. I don't think we'll get the points that we need. I feel personally we're going to need to win every game, because I think 10 would have been enough, or could be enough, if you had a better goal difference than the teams around you. But I just feel like that we would need to win all 4 to give ourselves a chance, and that's the way I see it. I'm not even going to look at the games beyond Colchester, because for me, I feel like sometimes you go and look too far ahead, you forget what's staring you right in the face. And at the moment, it's the Colchester game. That is the one that's the most important. That's what we need to win. But I think we need to win all 4. If we do that, we've got one hell of a chance. I just can see one of those games where our luck just runs out and it will be costly. But I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I'm hope Ben's right, because I hope that I'm hoping that the stars are aligned and that we do, you know what I mean, that we're going to just find a way. And that's what I said, just find a way to try and snatch it. But I think we need to win all 4.
James says there, if we win Friday, I think we win them all. Let me ask you one last follow-up off the back of what you said there then. I know you don't want to look ahead, but let me give you a hypothetical. We get to the last game of the season. I'm right in saying Chesterfield at home.
Yeah.
And to an extent, it's in our own hands, but goal difference is a factor, and we need to win by, let's make it realistic. Let's say we need to win by 3 clear goals.
Yeah.
Do you believe this side has it in them to go and do that if it's needed?
I believe we've got the firepower to go and do it. You don't have the top goal scorer in the league and stuff like that for no reason. I believe that if we had to go and do it, we could. I do agree with Ben. I would love to see in the next couple of weeks that the playoff picture is sorted. Whether that means that I'd love to see that Chesterfield are in the playoffs and they don't have to get anything coming to us. And then hopefully in Paul Cook's head, he's going, I can rest some key players here and get them ready for the playoffs, because I don't need to do anything at the Swindon game. That would be the ideal. If we're looking at Chesterfield now and we're still in a position, I would love for in the next couple of weeks, even for the Grimsby game and the Chesterfield game, that the playoff picture is tied up, sealed, delivered, whatever you want to call it. And then you then can have the conversation about teams being on the beach and the disappointment of missing out and whatever comes with that. But yeah, in answer to your question, I do believe we've got the firepower in the team to go out and score 3 goals to go if we needed to win by 3 clear goals. But wouldn't it be so Swindon that we could score those 3 goals and then concede an absolute shit one at the other end that costs us? Do you know what I mean? If it goes down to the nitty gritty of goal difference, that we would find a way to score what we needed, but then give away one of the worst ones you've ever seen. But I'd love to see the play.
That would be the moment that Ripley has his infamous lob from the halfway line.
Oh, stop it. We wouldn't hear the end of it from you if that happened, would we?
I mean, we were a bit nervous about one in the first half today, let's be honest, where he was a
deflected
lot
one.
more confident than I was.
Yeah. But there's going to be so many twists and turns to this roller coaster, and there, like, it is going to be, and that's why I listened to Holloway's interview today, and I sort of restored a little bit of my faith, because he showed an experienced side. Like, he was saying all the right things, like that he was coming in at half time, and he said about the TV being on and the lads looking at the other results. And he said, I don't want that. I just want us concentrating on ourselves. I want us looking at the next game now, which is Colchester. Someone like that now, even though we've questioned him the last few weeks, he could be the difference. You know, I mean, he could be the one that could guide them over the line, if you see what I mean. And wouldn't it be ironic that he has been at criticism? And I will happily admit that I, at the start of the season, loved Holloway, loved him. I've had a few questions for him over the last few weeks and the last few months, I would say, probably about the way that he's been. But wouldn't it be the way for him now to show that all that we've questioned him? And I will be the first one to stick my hand up and say, I was wrong. If he gets us over the line and gets us into the top three, I will be the first to go, Ian, there it is. Thank you very much. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to pan out, Fifey. I don't think any of us do. None of us have a clue.
It's going to be an exciting few weeks, isn't it?
It's, yeah.
Not for the blood pressure.
We could go. We hate Colchester Friday. We could go get absolutely tonked. It'll be game over, and then we're going to have to look at the playoffs. But as long as this roller coaster's going, that we've still got an opportunity for top three. Same for the Stars, isn't it? Let's just aim for the Stars and see where it takes us, because we've shown that we can deal with, deal with problems and deal with not performing well and just getting over the line. It's just brilliant, isn't it? At the minute, I'm walking out of games hating this football club, but absolutely loving it at the same time.
That's exactly what I. So after the game, me and my two mates that I came with today, we were sat down having some food before we left Swindon, and I just turned around and I said, very much like a conversation we had on Thursday was, I just turned around and said, I hate it. I hate everything about it, because every time I think it's over, we get sucked back in again, and it's the hope that kills you. I said, Swindon Town. I think I described Swindon Town as the ultimate cock tease right now, because.
And I've said this so many times today. I was down. All of us around me could see. I didn't even stand up and celebrate the first goal because I just couldn't. I was like, how have we then done that? And for the second goal, it was pure emotion. And what I love is that we had all of us around us, all of our group, a lot of our group. And what I love, and I'm not getting emotional, but my boy in front, Theo.
Are you going to cry on stream, was?
No, I won't cry on stream. But and I bet Ben gets this with taking his boys. Do you know what I mean? Like, the passion that comes out of them is what makes it worth it for me, because Theodore was absolutely buzzing. Yeah. And I've sat there and done the roller coaster, and even in the bad times, he is still absolutely loving it. And he sort of brings me through to that, because when we scored the second today, it was just absolutely quality. The scenes in front of him, like, he was in front of me, he was sat down by Craig and Georgia and in the row in front, and he was going absolutely mental. And I absolutely love it. I do. And it's what it's all about for me now, going to watch football. Like, it's all about going with my boy, and like I did with my dad and stuff. It makes it all worth it. And these moments like this, when I wasn't really enjoying the game, and it gets to me because I want us to get promoted. I want us to do so well. And then, but to see my boy in that moment, and it was just, I thought like I was going to fall over and nail the row in front of him with him. But it was absolute scenes, wasn't it, from all of us? And it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it doesn't matter if we do, don't we? But let's just aim for the stars. Let's go for it, and let's just have no regrets. And I think I'm hoping that's what Holloway's saying to the lads. That let's just have no regrets. We've got the playoffs to fall back on. You've got that safety cushion, haven't you? Well, you'd like to think we have. Not that we're saying we're going to do great in that, but that's something to talk about in a few weeks if we get when we get there. But let's just have a good old go and have no regrets for the next 4 weeks. We've got the ammunition, we've got the firepower, we've got the squad. Let's just go for it. I just want us to shackles off and just let's have a go. I'd rather us get shot down and lose by having it. And that's where I think Holloway will do that. He will go broke. He will stack them and rack them, whatever he wants to call it, whatever he wants to do or whatever. But let's get like we always do, and we don't have to ask the fans to get behind them, because we do get behind them. We are a top, for me, one of the best fan bases in this league. And we follow our team, we follow our club. But I just want us to have a good go these next 4 games, and I think we will need to win all 4, like I said a bit earlier. But let's go for it. Let's go for it and see where it takes us.
Let's go for it. Let's see where it takes us. And as James was saying earlier, let's ride the wave.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on tonight. It's been massively appreciated. Thank you as well to Sai for joining us at the start to look ahead to Friday. As it appears that we will be able to, we will start at the earlier time on Friday to do a watch along for those of us who aren't there. James will be there. It sounds very much like Walsall will be there with Woody, with Joe, potentially even Gar. So hopefully we'll get some content match day from the ground as well. But have a fantastic week, everybody. Thank you for everything over Easter. It's been a blast seeing so many of you and experiencing what has been an epic and hard-fought 4 points. We will be back on Friday to live through it all again together. And do you know what? I know it's cliche given the time of year, but despite everything, it really looks like our promotion bid has been resurrected. So why not? Let's dream big.
Yes.
Let's aim for those stars. Until Friday, everyone, from everyone at FRI HQ. Good night.
Have a great week, everyone.
Fools rushing. Yeah, we're back again, like mates down the pub. Heart on sleeve, never tame. Yeah, from the chanting in the stands to the tackles flying in. Home and away, red blood, white shirt, where the fools rush in. Passion, debates, laugh, rants, late nights, Woody Bear, Nick Rich, Walter Kieran side by side, Craig and Ned, Joe and Mark, Art, Gary in the dark, and now we got Barry in. Yeah, the gang's all in.
Fools rushing like we're chasing one more win. We'll make you laugh, make you cry, feel happy, feel angry inside. Fools rushing like a last minute swing, just like that.